Hello, my name is Greta Harrison. Welcome to Born Fabulous Podcast, Season 3, Episode 6. The theme of this season is young adults with intellectual disabilities living full lives of independence and interdependence. You will hear interviews with parents, support staff, and of course the young adults with intellectual disabilities. Please note these interviews were done 1 to 2 years ago. Achieving independence is a complex journey for many individuals and families. There were many stops and starts with various entities when putting together Season 3. Regardless, this content is very relevant and we hope you will find it helpful. This is the first of 3 episodes that feature Kayla McKeon and Elyssa Stallcup. Elyssa is Kayla's mentor, good friend, and roommate. Kayla is well known as the first professional lobbyist with Down syndrome, a sought-after keynote speaker, a podcast host, a Special Olympics athlete and champion, and a tireless advocate. She does all of this with her own mixture of grace and spunk. Please enjoy this short clip of The Ring. The lyrics are by Melissa Riggio, a young lady who had Down syndrome and was the focus of episodes 1 through 4 in Season 1. The music and voice are by Rachel Fuller. Hello, everybody. We are so glad to have in the house Kayla McKeon and her roommate, Elyssa Stallcup.
Yes.
So glad to see you guys. So glad to have you here after the pandemic and everything. And we're going to catch up with Kayla in a minute. But before that, Elyssa was going to be on a roll and tell a story. So tell us the story, Elyssa.
Okay. So I met Kayla 5 years ago. I was interviewing with an agency I had just started with that works with people who have disabilities. And I get a call from my broker saying, oh, there's this girl that I think you would enjoy working with. All you have to do is meet her in person at Panera on a Thursday. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. And I got to the interview and I met her, and she was just like you had said earlier, she was such a firecracker. She's like, I have a boyfriend, I've been to Greece, I've been to the Olympics, I've traveled everywhere. I love reading. I love coffee. So we shared a bunch of the same interests. And I remember, and she gave me her motivational speaker card, which I think I still have somewhere in my room. So as soon as I got back home, I told my mom, I'm like, I have to work with this girl. Like, I need to work with her. I hope she hires me. And I think it was the next day, the broker called me to say that they wanted to hire me. So yeah, and I've been working with her ever since. So.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not just working with her. You guys are really friends. You're really good friends. Yeah.
We are. Yeah. Every Friday, it doesn't feel like I'm working. It feels like I'm with my friend. I'm just hanging out with my friend.
I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. Well, we're going to get back to your connection. But before that, we need to catch up with Kayla. Because the last time the audience heard from Kayla was pre-pandemic. So a lot has happened since then. You rode out the pandemic at home with your parents, like a lot of people did, right, Kayla?
I did, yes.
And you're vaccinated, double boosted, right?
Yes.
Okay.
To all the above.
Okay. And So you were very careful, but you were also still working from home remotely, correct?
Correct.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about that pandemic time?
I'm still working remotely, but now I'm starting to get back to some travel. I've been going to travel again. I've been to Washington, D.C. and New York City and upcoming, and this put us into a little bit jealous, but I'm going to San Diego in October, and she has family in San Diego.
You're going to San Diego in October for what again?
I'm going for Society for Human Resource Management.
Oh.
So in abbreviation as SHARM, they're asking me to be a host to one of their events. So I'm going down October 24th to the 26th.
That's awesome. And since you just mentioned where you've been recently, tell everybody what you were doing in New York, because that was pretty cool.
When I was in New York City, after USA Games, I was going for the UN event, meeting individuals from Mongolia and Australia. And then so that was very interesting to go to a film festival. It was very interesting to meet new and exciting people.
And did you go to the New York Stock Exchange too?
There was a different trip, but yes, I went to the New York Stock Exchange a couple of weeks ago.
August 8th.
Exactly. I went on my birthday, August 7th to the 9th. One of our partners within DSS, the National Autism Society, partnered with Voya, and one of those CEOs will be stepping down at the end of the year. We'll have a new CEO starting as of next January. So we went and celebrated his retirement, and we were on the stock exchange floor being able to ring the closing bell.
And you yourself got to ring that, didn't you?
Yes, I was pushing the current CEO's thumb down to ring the closing bell.
That was so cool. That was so
Thank
cool.
you.
I saw the picture, and it was you and John Cronin from John's Crazy Socks, and
Yes.
and a whole group of people there, right?
Absolutely. And as Tom Hawkins, the original founder of the American Disability Act from 1990, he signed it, and we were there with him on a panel discussion that day, along with Johnny Taylor, Sean, a bunch of CEOs, and I were on a panel discussion discussing employment and the differently abled workforce.
That's great. That's great. And am I remembering correctly? Did you interview Johnny Taylor on your podcast a while back?
I did, yes.
I loved that interview, and I highly suggest people go to NDSS and look up Kayla's Corner with 2 Ks, Kayla's for Kayla and Kayla for Corner, on there, because she has a really good interview with him. And if we had all our human resource professionals be as up to date as he is, we would not have the employment issue that we have in this country right now. He was
Correct.
amazing. That was a good interview.
Yes.
And it's not that long. It's less than 20 minutes, I think, but it's a great interview. That was good. Well, that's great.
Thank you.
And so, okay, that's what you were doing pre-pandemic, and
Yes.
now,
And that was part of our CEO commission.
say that again. I'm sorry.
That was part of our CEO commission with NDSS. We had to talk with a bunch of different CEOs, and it was well received.
Oh, that's great. See, Kayla is out there not just advocating in Washington, D.C., which is very important, but advocating everywhere, like
That's
this,
right.
and globally,
Yes.
globally. It's what you do is so important, Kayla. You break down so many barriers every time you introduce yourself, you speak, you network. You are breaking down barriers every single time. And she's my daughter. My daughter's 22. She's my daughter's role model. She's many people's role model. We adore you, Kayla. We adore you.
So
I
now,
love Yasmin. She's amazing.
thank you. You're so sweet. Well, you're really amazing.
Thank
Now,
you.
Elyssa and Kayla, you are here together because the whole theme of this season is interdependence and dependence. And we're talking about Kayla's new stage. Now, just so everybody knows, this is not the first time Kayla has not lived at home. The first time Kayla moved out, she moved to Washington, D.C. She went from Syracuse to Washington, D.C. And that was a great big change, a huge change. So she has done this before, but this time she kind of did it a little bit more on her terms, meaning your time schedule. You got to pick from places where you wanted to live and so forth. So we're going to delve into that. How did you know it was the right time to move out?
I was talking with my parents, and we talked about it for a while. But since I did move to DC, like you mentioned, we figured it's a good time to make my independence a little more known and to be able to move out. It worked out. My parents took it harder when I moved to DC. This time I took it harder. I was the one that cried.
Well, yeah, that was a night and day kind of move because you were going to the heart of DC, everything from where you are. So that was you're not in quite of a different surroundings right now. You're in the same city. Like
Exactly.
I said, you got to pick where you are. Elyssa,
Yeah.
were you part of this decision? Obviously, if you're going to be the roommate.
Yeah, I remember we started talking about this. I came over to their house shortly after Christmas of 2020. Not Christmas of 2020, but it was January 2020, so it was shortly after Christmas 2019. That was when we first started talking about living together. And so I was really excited because I'd never lived away from home, and I know Kayla was excited too. So I remember the first time we started looking at apartments was in a Starbucks, and I have, notes about, the reviews, the pros and cons, what they had. So we started looking way back then. Of course, the pandemic sort of threw a wrench in that a little bit, and we started looking again probably April 2021. It was 2021 when we started looking again. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. And so you had it in the back of your mind before the pandemic. You kind of started those pre-looking steps.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then when did you ratchet back up and feel like, okay, we're still in the pandemic, but we're vaccinated now, and we know kind of how to muddle through this. We know when to be masked. We know what to do. So when did you kind of figure out, okay, let's ratchet this up again?
I think it was April 2021, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because for a while, we were looking at couches. We were doing price comparing and, again, pros and cons. And I have a bunch of pictures in my phone of her sitting on couches and looking at or holding up mugs. So I would say, spring 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay. Yeah. And when did you actually make the move?
Oh, when did we make the move? Okay. So that was
October.
Yeah, we signed the lease in October, but we didn't officially move in until mid-November. So it was November 13th, 2021.
Okay. The reason I'm asking that timeline, it helps people to know it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
No,
you had thought about it before the pandemic, so you've done some pre-steps, and then you had about 6 months, give or take a little bit, between when you ratcheted it up and when you actually moved in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And here's a funny story about how we got the apartment. We were at a coffee shop out in Fayetteville, and we were just talking about oh, we should call to see where we are on the waiting list. And she goes, funny, I was just about to call you myself. We just have a two-bath open. Do you want to check it out and engage your interest? And it did get your interest. And it was funny because we were going to call. We called. And they said, well, we're going to call you.
Mhm.
So it worked itself out.
So it was a perfect timing.
Yeah, there is one thing I'd like to mention with like the timeline, or for any of the listeners out here who want an apartment, but like they want to know about the process. You have to do a lot of calling to check in if you're still on the wait list, or if your name's the next person, like if you are the next person on the wait list to be called for it, like you have to do a lot of calling. So that day, Kayla and I decided, we need to call to see if it's available. And yeah, like she said, they're like, oh, we were going to call you. It's available. So you have to do a lot of calling. You got to make sure you're following through with these apartments because, things get left by the wayside sometimes. So,
and we were very persistent.
We were, yeah.
Well, Kayla, that's one of your big traits. You have so many traits, but persistence is a really good one. I have to, I have to backtrack here. When we were talking about the pandemic and catching up with Kayla, we missed that she graduated.
Yeah.
Can you launch into that a bit, Kayla?
Sure. So I graduated this past May. Actually, let me back it up a minute. It was actually March 21st, 3/21, did I find out I was graduating this year. And I graduated in May of this year, 2021, excuse me.
2022.
Excuse me, this year, May 21st, 2022. But I found out I was on Symptom Day. So it was amazing. I got my cap and gown. I had Elyssa, a bunch of family and friends, and I was able to walk the stage and graduate with my associate's degree in general studies. And I just finished my last college class with an A. So now I'm just waiting for the degree to come in.
We are so proud of you. Name the community college that you went to, Kayla.
Sure, Onondaga, Onondaga Community College.
Okay, and the reason persistence reminded me to talk about that was Kayla has been pursuing this off and on for 13 years because she's been working, and she's been traveling a lot. And the time that you were in DC, you were not pursuing it while you lived in DC. So there was a little break there. So you would take one class at a time.
Yes.
Over all these years, and you did it. And
hallelujah.
And she took all the hard classes. This is not some special program. This is not something where the requirements were changed for Kayla or anything like that. She took every tough class that anybody else at that community college had to take, all the hardcore classes, everything. And she did it. Congratulations, Kayla. I know you have a party coming up at the end of the month.
Yes.
And it's just so happy for you. So persistence is a big part of this journey. And Elyssa, you're saying that both of you were persistent. Elyssa, could you tell the audience a little bit? I spoke about this with Kayla's parents in their interview, but I think yours will probably be airing before theirs. Explain the broker system, because every state is different. And that terminology is really not used in a lot of states, so they might not understand. It's not a stockbroker.
Okay, yeah, it's just a person. It's I don't want to call it a case manager because I think the case manager manages the broker, but the brokers basically have a list of individuals that they are helping to get services. so they have a caseload. So they have a caseload, and so they're responsible for coming up with the HAB plan for, every, I think it's 2 times a year. And then they are also responsible for hiring new staff, and checking in with the staff. So she's got a really great broker right now. Very involved in Kayla's life and very involved in, checking in on me, how I'm doing, so that's how it works.
Okay, just so everybody knows, so you are part of Kayla's quote unquote staff, but your arrangement is really that and more, because you're also there as a friend.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so they understand the logistics of this. Are you getting a reduction in rent, Elyssa, or how is that working?
No, we both came into this equally. We wanted both of our names to be on the rent. So we both pay half. So every month. And then same with electricity. We split the electricity 2 ways. We split Spectrum 2 ways. Spectrum is our cable provider. So so no reduction in rate.
Okay, so it's not like the government is paying for you to live there. It's not like you're getting a break to live there. You're doing this because you want to do it, period. Right. And you guys are really, really good friends.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I think that's very, very cool. So you're having your Mary Tyler Moore moment together, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you were too young to understand what that meant, but you understand what that means.
I get it. My parents and I watch that sometimes. So
that's good. That's good. You're getting your strong independence together. And I love that. So your place has 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. So that allows you your alone time too, correct?
Right.
It does.
So how do you navigate those boundaries? Like, how do you, when people live together, I don't care if it's husband and wife, college roommates, regular roommates, sometimes anybody gets on somebody's nerves. So how do you guys navigate that?
So we call it me time. So when we first moved in, we were cooking dinner and Kayla asked me, so we have a show that we watch, so the first show we watched together was New Girl. I had already seen it, but I'd wanted her to see it. And she asked me if I wanted to do New Girl tonight. And I'm like, I'm tired. So maybe 1 episode. And so she thought that was an indication of something that she did wrong. She thought like I was mad at her or something. And I'm like, no, okay. I need my me time. I was working, with another person and now I'm helping you with dinner. So I just, I just need me time, and so she understood it. And then after that, she would always ask, oh, do you need your me time? Do you need your me time? So yeah. And she'll tell me if she needs to be left alone or something.
That'd be Kayla time.
So Kayla, you ask for me time as well.
Sometimes if I feel like I need it, yes. So that's when we normally go. I'll either be out here and Elyssa will be in her room, or I'll be in my room and we both shut our doors. And I'll either read, listen to music on the phone. But it works itself out. We always figure it out.
Yeah.
That's a great strategy. And I think that can help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Just ask for me time.
And we do come together when we eat. We watch Family Feud and Jeopardy. So we're always having dinner together, and we always watch TV together. If we don't need the me time, we're always watching something.
Yeah, like right now we're on flight attendant. So
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that. I know that my daughter often every day she has to have her alone time. So I like that. I like that term me time. It's just easy.
Yes.
It's easy and it's understandable. So that's great. And so that incident where you just wanted to watch one episode and you said, I just need my me time, Elyssa, did that happen early on, soon after?
Yes, that happened early on. Yeah. So after that, she's pretty good about asking, oh, do you need your me time? Like if I come home from work and I look tired, she's like, do you need your me time? And I'll let her know if I do or not. So
that's great. That's really good. That's great. So
and or sometimes we just do our own thing where I'm in my room and I do my thing. Elyssa will do her thing. But because so the agency we work with is called Advocates Incorporated. So she has other individuals on other days. And I get it. It is a long day for a mentor. Because they're always on the move, so I understand it because I'm on the receiving end of it, like I am today. I'm on the mentee end, so I get the long days. My dad is a mentor with the agency, so I understand. Like, but with Elyssa, her beer time is her me time.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, it is an unusual situation that you both really do understand each other's worlds a little more than maybe some other people do, because you kind of have a foot in each world. So I like that.
Right.
Thank you for listening to the 6th episode of Born Fabulous Podcast 3rd season. I hope you enjoyed it and want to hear more. Short video clips from most episodes are available on our YouTube channel and on bornfabulouspodcast.com. In episode 7, you will hear Kayla and Elyssa discuss their chores and chore chart, Kayla's different circles of support, their apartment, and more. Please follow and like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be honored if you would leave a review wherever you heard this podcast. Now please enjoy this clip of The Ring. The lyrics are by Melissa Riggio, who was the focus of Season 1, Episodes 1 through 4. The music and voice are by Rachel Fuller.